Gonna have to do an album on a stupid video all over again. I am not thrilled, but the last video was too dark and it didn't come out quite like I wanted to. I'm such a perfectionist with a video problem. That was like my anxiety attacked voice of doing video. Yeah, okay, back to normal. I'm gonna do a review on Pink Floyd albums and Roger Waters albums. Mainly the final cut, pros and cons of hitchhiking, radio chaos, and I'm used to death. I'm gonna do them in order by how they were made. The final cut. It's a very controversial Pink Floyd album. It's a very controversial album, and people think it's either Roger Waters' solo album or one of the worst Pink Floyd albums out there, or it's the best thing ever. And I'm one of the people who think it's awesome. It's basically leftover material from The Wall that Roger Waters turned into an album to protest war that England was starting in the 1980s. And it's a very good album. He dedicated to his father, Eric Fletcher Waters, who passed away in World War II in Italy, 1944, when Roger Waters was 5 months old. The album is also very depressing. It's good, but it's depressing. My personal view, I first heard it in 2002, and one of the guys I had a hot smoking crush on, Samuel, back in, I was like in ninth grade, he was an eighth grader. He looked like he was like about 17, 18, and he was like only 14, I was 15. We went to this church thing together, and he played the final cut at the party, and I fell in love with him, and I fell in love with Pink Floyd, and all that is history. And I've just fell in love with Roger's voice and how he carried himself and how he's such a hard ass, but sometimes he could have a soft heart, and I guess I fell in love with Roger that way. And I just seen like a video of him, like, to get off topic, but he was like playing pool with his friend on his thing, and he was pretty good looking for almost 69. I think he's a 69-year-old. Oh, I was really cool. Like, I like watching his videos on his thing. I watch it all the time. Creepy me. But this is not has to do with the Roger Waters videos. This has to do with his album, The Final Cut. A lot of people don't like it because Richard Wright wasn't in it, because Richard Wright was not in the band at the time. I don't think I think it was kind of more of his solo album, but David Gilmour did do parts in it, and he sang in Not Now John. It's a pretty good album. I think it's depressing, but that's Roger Waters. I think my favorite song on it is The Final Cut, or Your Possible Pasts. I like Not Now John, but it's pretty interesting. It has his younger voice, middle-aged voice. Because, like, there's a different types of voice. Roger Waters sounded so much different from he did when he was, like, in his 20s. You can tell the difference between, like, his voice in the 60s, 70s, and then 80s, and then 90s, and even now in the 2000s. A lot of people think he lip sings or something. I don't know. Like, you can tell the difference, like, he has a little raspy voice now. He didn't back in the 60s, but, he's gotten older. I like the album. and not a lot of Pink Floyd fans have respect for it. It's a cool album, and Roger Waters did a pretty good job. And now I'm going to pros and cons of Hitchhiking. He did that. It was his first album away from Pink Floyd, and he had Eric Clapton play with him. And a lot of people say Eric Clapton's trying to sound like David Gilmour, and I disagree. I think it has this bluesy sound to it, and it's basically Roger Waters singing about midlife crisis, and it's kind of about sex. And I learned a lot of things about Roger, and he dedicated to his second wife, Caroline Christie, and she's like, he's been married 4 times. She's the mother of his 2 kids, India and Harry Waters. He likes blondes a lot, I can tell you that. Yeah, I like it. I mean, I like my favorite quote from it is like, about like red lipstick. I've always preferred your lips red, but not the ones the good Lord gave you, but the one He intended. Oh, that's why I wear a lot of red lip gloss. No, actually, I just like red lip gloss. I think it's pretty. But maybe that's why I wear a lot of red lip gloss, because of that quote. Anyway, it's a very controversial album. A lot of MTV didn't want to put his stuff on MTV. Got really angry with that, and I seen some of the videos. They're pretty interesting. Then he got in trouble for having this naked model on his cover of Pros and Cons, because it was sexist. It was kind of, but it was kind of cool. It was very artistic. It wasn't pornography like some of the people out there would do, but it was very artistically done. I usually get offended by that stuff, but I'm not offended. It wasn't offensive. It was art. And then I'm going on to his third album without Pink Floyd, or third solo album, second without Pink Floyd, Radio Chaos. Not a lot of people have heard about it, and it didn't do well commercially, and everybody was listening to a momentary lapse of reason, and Roger Waters basically got shoved under a cupboard. All of his hardcore fans came, and not a lot of people showed up, and I guess Roger Waters kind of felt it, because he hasn't really doesn't really perform it in his later solo career. It's kind of groovy. It has like this 80s techno pop beat, and it's about nuclear warfare, and this guy who's kind of a vegetable, and he's really smart. Like, I think and it ends up depressing. Like, it's pretty interesting. It's about nuclear warfare, which is kind of interesting because now that Kim Jong-il wants to go after the West Coast, it's kind of funny that I would be talking about this album, Radio Chaos, when we might be having a balmy summer day. Though I doubt it might happen, but Kim's like, I'm gonna bomb the West Coast, maybe Texas. And I'm like, I'm scared, so I probably won't be listening to this album. Maybe I might be, but it's just like scary. Thanks, Kim. But the album's good. And it's rarely, I guess, like, people really didn't want to listen to that kind of talk about nuclear, or they prefer David Gilmour's guitar. I don't know. They just didn't, like, everyone went to the Pink Floyd, because I guess Pink Floyd and Roger Waters had scraps of fans come. I'd have been there, but I was a baby. Now we're talking about one of his best solo albums, The Amused to Death. Yeah, it's all kinds of things. It's politics, it's religion, and he bashes a few people and makes references towards people, like things he doesn't might not like McDonald's, Andrew Lloyd Webber, problems with Pink Floyd members. I don't know. He writes songs about like war and commercialism and religion. He just talks about everything pretty practically, and it's a good. I think it's like one of his best albums. I like Three Wishes. I like the video. He has his third wife in it, Priscilla Phillips, and she's really pretty. And then I've seen the videos for it. He made this in 1993 or 1994. I do not know. 1994, 1990. I can't remember. I'm gonna look it up because I have a book by me. 1992. So I was born in 1987. So I was 4 or 5 years old when this came out. And Roger Waters is 44 years older than me, so he was in his 50s. And yeah, it's a pretty good album. He did not tour with it. I think he was too busy, being married to Priscilla Phillips and stuff, and got caught up in that. Or maybe it didn't sell quite the way he intended it to, because the Division Bell came out after it somewhat, and they toured. It would have been a good album if he would have toured, because it's a really good album. Basically, Roger Waters has done other solo careers. He's done an opera that I cannot pronounce, and he's released I have had the album, and I think I want to get the new one, but I don't know if you can get it anywhere besides the computer, online. Amazon. Flickering Flame, his solo career years. I like his songs. In 2004, he made a download version of "To Kill the Child" and "Leaving Beirut," which are very good songs. He's done bits and pieces. I think you know what, Roger, you need to release a new solo rock album, not an opera. A new album, rock album, and because we've been waiting, our fans, and you're not getting any younger. You're about ready to turn 70, and hopefully you're in good health, because we need you to make at least one more solo album. And I really think it'd be really time for you to write a book about your life, because if I was about your age, I would be making a book about my life. But I'm not trying to give you an advice or to roll in anything, but we need another album from you, Roger, and a book. Okay, that was my Roger Waters-esque video. I had to redo this, and yeah, I kind of did. Yeah, yeah. I got a picture of Roger Waters I'm looking at. Okay, that didn't look right, does it? Okay. And here's a book I checked out at the library about Pink Floyd. cool.